Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley, joined today by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hey everyone, really glad you're here today.
We're thrilled to have you here today, where we are going to talk about using testimonials in your business. We're going to talk about how we incorporate testimonials into design. We can explore a little bit of how you might choose to capture testimonials and case studies as well in your offboarding process. And we're just generally going to look at how we can engage with these things in AttractWell so that you're making the most of the proof that should be selling the good work that you're doing. So if you're new here, welcome. We're really thrilled to have you here. This is a free session that we offer every single Thursday at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. And this is for anyone who is looking to get more out of the work that they're doing in their business. And of course, if you're using AttractWell, we're going to show you how to really level up what it is that you do. Because with AttractWell, you have everything all in one place that you need to run your business. You don't need to learn 17 different types of software, or worse, have to tie them all together and keep them functioning. Here, you have everything in one place, and we show you how to use it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I've got some slides prepared for today. Head into the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from. Greg and I are going to pop out a video and get into what we've prepared for you here today. As you're coming in, let us know what you do. Who do you help? How do you serve your people? And I'm also curious as well, how do you collect your testimonials? Are you currently utilizing testimonials? Tell me more about that. Let me know in the chat. We're thrilled to have you guys here today. So today we're going to talk about how we can turn your greatest asset, the proof of what you do, into your best marketing. So how can we turn proof that we know what we're doing into the kind of validating messaging that shows up where it needs to, so that people can easily say yes when presented with the opportunity to convert, whether that's onto a call with you or actually going straight to purchase a product. So today we're going to talk about how we can turn our client results into our most persuasive marketing asset. We'll talk about how to collect, design, and reuse testimonials across every touch point that you might use. And we'll talk about how to use our different builder features, right? So we've got a page builder, we've got an email builder, and we've got a content library. And we will be really making good use of a lot of these different features here today, so that you have really easy ways to insert the stories that you want to share where it makes sense to share them, so you can showcase that credibility without having to learn extra tools. And then, as always, we have live help and Q&A. I do have one person signed up for a live help review here today. Ellie, if you're here, just go ahead and pop your hand up for me, and I'll make sure that I bring you out here in just a bit. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. If you have questions as we're going through today's training, add those to the Q&A, regardless of what their topic might be. If they're not even about what we're talking about today, they're welcome. This is a live work session where you've got the opportunity to get help and support if you need it. So do take advantage of that. You've got the creator of the platform here. You've got me as well. We could go through anything that you have questions on here. If you would like to join us on a future live session, if you're watching this as a replay, head over to attractwell.com/office hours to be able to join us on these live Zoom calls and get access, first access to any resources that we release. And if you'd like to work together live on a call like this, you can go to attractwell.com/work review. We do reserve the second half of these calls to work together live on whatever topic you want to work on. If you're moving to us from one or 17 other platforms, or if you want just a little bit of help with your design or setup, you can go to attractwell.com/concierge to learn more about our awesome team and get a quote for your project. All right, so proof is the most powerful thing that we can be using. The question is whether or not we're really putting it to good use. Are you bragging about the good results your clients are getting? Is this something that's happening enough? This is actually something that I think some of the people who are the best at what they do use this the least. And I really want to encourage you to do more of this. I want you to make sure that where you have a reason to brag, that you are doing it. And the best way to brag is to tell the stories of your clients in their own words. So your happy clients are, at the end of the day, the best sales team you'll ever have. And that credibility that you have by showing what you did for them, that is currency, especially online. If you can tell a story that someone can relate to, they will see themselves in that person. And if that person is the hero, the winner of a story, and that's one that you facilitated, those are going to be the people that want to say yes to what you have to offer. So your design is going to help the proof feel real, but the strategy behind it is really what makes it powerful. And AttractWell is going to let you build trust into every part of your business because you can show up with us in so many different interesting and powerful ways. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we are gathering and organizing our proof, right? So start by asking for feedback early in your process of working with clients. So if you are someone who works one-on-one, if you are a service provider, a consultant, a coach, then you want to really kind of lock in, at least for your own reference, what the milestones are that you're looking for, and always be asking for feedback in their words, how that feels when they achieve something, right? Hey, I noticed you did this, you achieved this, you got this. How does that feel? How is that impacting you, right? Make sure that you're asking these questions so that you can really get that feedback in their words. Because number one, having them share that validation with you is going to really help to cement how they feel about it. We don't always necessarily explore our feelings in the moment, especially if the goal we're working toward is massive and we've only just chipped away at it a little bit. This is actually a cool little secret to making sure that your clients stay engaged and happy throughout the process so that they will have greater success, right? So always be looking for what success looks like, what winning looks like, and finding opportunities to highlight the wins and get direct written feedback, or if you like using video for this, you can do that as well. Written feedback from your clients so that they can provide you with this incredible asset for your growth. And then make it easy. I want to encourage you to provide prompts throughout. So this can be if you are maybe using a lesson, class lessons, like if you have an online course or a program and people are experiencing your content inside of a vault, maybe at a certain point in the process, you have a discussion prompt where you ask a question and you gather the feedback from there. You can also use forms in AttractWell on pages to grab all kinds of information, including their photo or other files if you want, so that you have everything that you need to be able to grab that feedback. And then you can store the text that they provide you, the images, videos, all of these things go into your content library. Another great place to keep something like this is in a swipe file. We teach using a Trello board for a swipe file. We've got some great trainings on that I can point you guys to if you're unfamiliar. But that's also a great place to just kind of keep, capture and keep for later use to build in your AttractWell system. Now, the idea here is that we're going to design a couple of things one time and then insert these things where they're needed, right? Because at the end of the day, what feedback is, what testimonials are punctuation to the points that you're making, right? So if you have a sales page, if you say something is true, the best thing that you can do next is have somebody else show up and validate that. And that's what testimonials do. So here's a person that looks like you, sounds like you, has a similar career or what have you, that has this point of view. So you make that point and then they support it. That is going to be better received, right? Whether that's a sales page, an email, in a blog post, wherever you are showing up. So what we're going to talk about today and what I'm going to show you how to do is to actually create these assets in AttractWell so that you can use them to punctuate wherever you're showing up. So in Pages, we're going to create testimonial sections that you can just drop in or copy in to your sales pages, your landing pages, and more. We're going to turn strong quotes from our clients into reusable saved sections in the email builder. Again, with your emails, you can drop in these sort of pre-formatted, pre-written testimonial sections into whatever you're writing. And then you can save your favorite stories as saved replies for easy reuse in things like blogs, emails, or class lessons. So these are features in AttractWell I'm going to be showing you how to use today. So those are page sections, saved sections in the email builder, and saved replies that you can use in a lot of places. And at the end of the day, we're creating something that multiplies our credibility, right? So anytime we go and say, here is a thing that I find to be true, and here's what my client said about it, you can just pop that right in, right? Or if you say, here is a thing that you could use that could do this thing for you, and here's someone's story who had that success, right? We're able to really multiply what it is that we're saying this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to drop these things into our sales pages, blog posts, or nurture emails, and then let those real results do the convincing before your offer ever opens, right? Or as you are maybe making a pitch. We're going to pair those testimonials with clear calls to action for stronger conversion. And just remember that trust is going to build momentum for you faster than any kind of advertising or clever copy. Your client's own words are the best sales pitch for your next client, right? I also want you to maybe consider doing this or revisiting this on a quarterly basis. You always want to keep fresh stories because you want to include them often. But if people are on your list and they're actively opening your emails and you're sharing these things often, then you want to make sure that it's not feeling too repetitive for people that are sticking around. So rotate these stories out, maybe seasonally or after each launch, and then you can swap out maybe updated screenshots or success quotes in your saved sections and revisit the library that we'll build today on a quarterly basis to keep our examples current. And that consistency with keeping it fresh is going to keep that sustained authority for you for the long run. Now, really important, you can spend a little time on this. I wouldn't really encourage you to go crazy nuts on design. It really should be simple. Polish is nice, but it really matters where you put this, right? The message is always going to be key. So where you show the proof is going to matter a lot more than how cute this is. So just make sure that we are really making sure that we're gathering the right words that we want to use and placing them strategically. And that reuse is going to build recognition and trust. And of course, with AttractWell in all of these places, your credibility will be on display. So I am going to first pop over to AttractWell to show you the places that we are going to be spending some time today. And again, as you have questions, guys, please feel free to pop into the Q&A and ask away. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything that you ask. So first things first, I want to show you the features that we are discussing. Most of these are going to live in the content library. So saved replies is a really great place to capture your written content or even pre-formatted content inside of your email templates. We have saved sections that you can easily drop in to future emails. So here's a testimonial example here. And then what we're also going to do is use our page builder to actually create sections that we will drop into our into different pages and landing pages that we'll create. And let's go ahead and just start with pages here and click add. Now, there are a couple of options here that we can use. I'm just going to go from a blank page because the purpose of this is not to be its own page, but to be copied into other pages. And if you're not sure what that means, essentially what that means is actually, let me just go back and show you guys a sales page. And you can see here's our sales page template. If I wanted to drop in a section that had testimonials pre-made, I could go maybe right here. If I say if you're these things, you're in the right place, I can click add section. I can click copy in another page, and then I can go find my testimonial. Actually, I have that there. I can click copy in. And here's the testimonial from Jane and the images, right? So you could just drop this right in and have the information that you want. Now, I'm going to actually go create this from scratch with you. And we're going to use a couple of different options. So I'm going to go from blank page. And I think my first one is going to be perhaps a two-column section with an image on the right and text on the left. So I'm just going to select this section here, this two-column section. There's something going wrong with my computer right now. Let me click add section and try that again. This might be a Safari thing. I may have encountered a bug. All right. I'm going to go over here. Worst case, I'm going to start from an existing template. Yeah. Oh gosh, Greg, I don't know. There's something weird going on with Pages right now in Safari. I don't know if you see this. I'm clicking this here, and I'm actually not able to add in.
Hmm.
So
I'll check
I'm
it out
going
here.
to actually just start from an existing page. And this is something that we will work to resolve here. Let me come back here to Pages. I'm going to click add. And I'm going to just grab this one here and delete the sections that I don't want. All right, so this is actually one with images on the image on the right and text on the left. So I'm going to just delete everything else that's here just for the purpose of our, actually, I think there's a testimonial section on this page that would be fine as well to use. Oh, here we go. Yeah, what others are saying. So there's an example of actually using Canva for this purpose. And I could save that as its own page. I'm just going to delete everything else that I don't want here. All right. So once I have the section or sections that I want, I'm going to go ahead and start making some edits here. I'm going to remove my background color and I'm going to go ahead and just change the font that's in here. Actually, also get rid of this paragraph format here and just make sure that this is all a bit smaller. I also don't need a button. All right, so here we go. I've got here text on the left, image on the right. Now, this image I'm going to need to change, of course. I'm going to maybe go find a client image. Let's pretend that I added this to Canva. I'm going to go to logo, which is just a square image, and go open. And then I'm going to go find an image of my client. So I'm going to actually just use a dummy here because, well, I don't actually have a client image that I'm going to pull in. Let me go type in frame. Actually, I'm going to just find a photo of a person. Let me go here to elements. I'm going to type in woman smiling. Ideally, of course, if you're using an image, it should be of your client. I am going to, let's see, we'll pop her in here. I'm going to center this so that she is as visible as possible and centered in the photo. That'll work. I'm going to send that to AttractWell. And I want this to be a cropped circle, but I can actually do that in AttractWell, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, this actually is a premium image, so I need to put something behind it. If you ever get that error, by the way, with Canva, it's just because they don't want you to, let me put this center back. They don't want you to export an image that only has one element in it. And so you can just put something behind whatever you're using and you're good to go. So now I can send that to AttractWell without issue. And once it's here, I can give it a quick little chop because I don't really like the square. So I'm going to click the add frame to image. And yeah, I'm going to use the circle. I kind of like this arch too. That's nice. But any of these could work. But I'm going to click that one. And while we're doing that, I'm going to actually go and grab my testimonial. All right. So we're going to pretend that we are a wellness coach, and this is Megan. So I'm going to take the copy that I have from her, the impactful quote that I have from her. I'm going to put that in here. I don't love the size of this, so we do need to make some modifications. This is also a bit large. So I'm going to go and change the size here of this maybe to 150 pixels and see if I like that. I think I do. Let's take a look there. Now it's actually quite small. We can change that. Um, I'm going to change that to 250. Great. Okay. So we can format this so that it looks how we want. I am going to give a little space here after her name. And then I might choose as well to make this all just a bit bigger so that it stands out more in a page section, right? So this is one way that you can do this. I also just noticed here, this should be centered. Yeah, there we go. You do want to kind of double check and make sure that it looks good, right, on mobile. So there's mobile, there's tablet, and then there is desktop. So that looks pretty good as well. And so what we can do here, and I'm just going to go ahead and delete the rest of what I have here. Once I have this done, this is Lisa's testimonial. So I can go here to settings, and I'm not going to show header or menu or footer. This is available by link only. And this is going to be Lisa testimonial. There we go. I click done. I click save. And again, this is never going to be viewed as its own web page, but it is something that's going to be dropped into other pages on your site. So if I go back and I find my sales page, then I can come right down here and pop in the testimonial right here. So I can click add section, copy in another page, type in testimonial, and there's Lisa testimonial. Click copy in, and there she is, right? So however you've had this formatted, it can pop straight in. Now, what if you want something that is maybe a little bit more designed, a little bit more thought out? Maybe you want something that's a little more rich. You can go here and add section either to this sales page or again, create a section that is its own page. And you have this interactive option as well, where you could even add a carousel. So if you wanted to add a carousel section, you could do that. And then you would insert images for those carousel sections. And then that would, flip through just like a carousel does. And then that can be a saved section that you pop in as well. Another option, as always, is to just grab a screenshot and put that into, say, a Canva file. If you have one, let me see if I can find I don't know. I know that I have one for the yeah, these guys actually come with that template that you saw us start with. So you could certainly also use something like this and put these into a page section as well if you wanted to go image based. Totally fine, up to you, right? And then once you have these in your AttractWell system, this of course is a page section, but you could have here, if we go back over, like we are going to create a sales page. I'll go add, or it's, yeah, the Cassie template homepage is the one that I was just referring to. You could always use a three-part section like this and just display your images that way. That's always a great option. And then those can be inserted into all kinds of different places in your system. All right. So that is pages. That is how you can create a testimonial for one or more clients and then easily insert that section into using this copy in feature. You can insert that into your whatever page you would like, right? So very easily, there she is again. I can pop that in where it makes the most sense. All right. Now, another really cool place for you to capture and keep your testimonial content is actually in saved replies. Now, saved replies are the building blocks of traditional emails. They're also the building block of blog posts and of lessons in your online class content. And so what this looks like, if you were to add a saved reply, it actually looks like you're writing an email. But what I'm going to do here is give it, here's a Lisa testimonial. So it'll have the same name here. I'm not going to put a subject line in because this is not supposed to be an email on its own. But what I might do here is maybe insert a table that is 1 by 2, and I might take oh, I called her Lisa, and this is actually her name is Megan, isn't it? There we go. So I can go and I can take her actual testimonial here. And then I can come over here and I can insert that image from our library. There's that circle cropped image that we created. And I can add that there. And then if I'm writing a regular email, or maybe I am writing a blog post or something like that, I can insert that wherever I want it to go. So if I go to my blog posts, and maybe here I was talking about a program or I was talking about a concept, and I want to include her testimonial here, I can go find that and I can drop it right in, right? So I could save this and then go view it. And it shows up right here. How cool is that? All right. So Another thing that you can do with your saved replies is if you are writing a traditional message. So again, we have a block builder for email, and then we have sort of like a very conventional, just write an email type of editor, right? I'll show you the difference. If I wanted to write a message, we've got the block builder with all of these templates, or we can use the basic email editor. The basic email editor allows you to use saved replies. So if I go and I find her here, I'll find her again in this list. I can drop her right in. I can preview this and see what it looks like. Uh, and, and then that can be a part of an email that I send. Same for campaigns. In my online class lessons, if I want to tell a story about a client, I can do that too. So I can come over here to my classes, and maybe in my 90 Days to a Better You curriculum, we're talking about smashing stressors. Lisa's got a great story about stress. I can come over here to saved replies and I can pop in what she had to say as well, right? So you can take that and put it in so many different places. And you're not limited to just this sort of table either, to be fair. And you can make all kinds of modifications to this too. And Denny, you were asking how to add that table in creating that saved reply. It's essentially you're going over here to more rich and then insert table. So you hit this plus with the dots, you hit insert table, and then I did a 1 by 2. And this just ensures that it is going to be a side-by-side configuration. Importantly, if this is going out via email, it's going to be really important to have alternative to text. Make sure that that's in the saved reply itself. And then again, if it's going to go into email, I would definitely recommend dropping the size down quite a bit as well, right? So that it actually looks better in email. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier and quicker for you to just insert that punctuation, that proof of what your client had to say right where you need to have it. And so if you have this established in saved replies, then you're able to drop this into your written content. And then of course, that means your blog post, your lessons, instructions, your class content, as well as your traditional email editor. Now, the final place that we can place this is going to be more design focused, and that's going to be over here under our email templates. And here I'm going to go click add, and I'm going to X out of this and just start from scratch. And I'm going to delete these other sections that are already here. And I'm going to go grab a section that is pre-formatted. So here is a 2-column right picture. I can go here and I can find that image of her right there, give it alternative text. I'm going to size that down to, I'm going to say 150 pixels. I'm going to remove the button. And then I'm going to pop in that information, right? Now, once this is here, and you can change the color, there's all kinds of awesome stuff you can do here. I would recommend keeping this very simple so that it's easy for you to work with in other instances. So if you have an email section or a page section or something like that that's highly designed, it's better for you to have something that's plain to start with that you can adapt to whatever the design is that you're using, right? And so what I'm going to do here is just like I did before, I click here to save the section, and that's right here. Add this block to my save sections. And so here this is Lisa, testimonial. I'll click save. And the next time I'm building out a sales campaign for my program, or I am telling a story or something to that effect, I would then be able to add that in right where I want it. All right, let me go back to my email templates. Safari is doing something crazy today. I think it did save, did not save. Let me go back and try that again. Let's load what I had. All right, yeah, there's something going on with Safari today, but you can actually see where I've created one of these before. Pretty cool. But what I did again is I went into sections and I went and found, I like having the text on the right, just in case something stacks on mobile. You want to make sure that it is, showing up the way you want it to. So no button required here. paste that information in there, replace the image with the one that we've already created for our other assets. Make sure that that has her name. We've got alternative text. I'm going to size it down to 150 pixels. And that's not a hard and fast rule. I do think that that is within a good range though. So again, this is add to save sections. And then we'll save it. There we go. So it's currently saving. Once it's done with that, then I'll be able to, there you go. You can see that it's saved. It's right there. So if I want to go and use my newsletter that I've created to talk about whatever the thing is that I'm doing, or maybe here's one that's about my lead magnet. I'm emailing about my lead magnet. So I'm going to use this one. So here's what I'm offering. This is what they're getting. And then, oh, here's what others are saying. How about that? I can actually go in here in my save sections and I can find Lisa in here or Teresa in this case. I can just drag it over right there and change the section background color, right? I can make all those modifications that I want. This is actually an image though in this case. So yeah, you could just drop that section in just like we did with the pages. We can bring that over here, right? And so it's easy to just bring that in wherever you want to make that punctuation. So what I would do is I would begin capturing these stories and testimonials. And if it were me, I would be using a Trello board like the one that we bear with me just a second. I'm going to make sure I'm logged into a Trello account that I can show you guys. We have in our in our library here, actually, if you go over here to the Success Academy and you go to live training and replays, view by topic, our content planning systems right here will get you access to the Trello board template that we recommend that you use. It's one that we've created for you. And it actually walks through exactly how to use it for lots of different use cases. So just as soon as I can get Trello to pull up for me, I'm going to show you guys how I would go about doing this using the swipe file and content planner example that I have right here. All right. So right here is Swipe File and Content Planner, where I capture ideas for the emails that I'll send, social media posts, long form content, workshops, if I'm talking about products, holiday promos. Here's testimonials, right? So you could be grabbing this information and putting it here for later use, right? Because you're not always necessarily going to embark on the design process, right? What I want to encourage you to do is start collecting, right? And then once you've collected a few, you go and you design those pieces that you can then go and pop in wherever you need them on your pages, in your emails, in your lessons, etc. Right? And so you're essentially just going to add a card and then you would maybe give some keywords, the name of the person. So here's Lisa. I'm going to copy what she gave me. I can put my information from her in here as well. And then as I have those created in the system, I could maybe check this off. I could file it away. Or if I just wanted to be able to read it and reference it, it'll be here, right? And the cool thing about having it here on your Trello board is that you can search, right? So if I wanted to find someone who said that she felt stuck, I could type in stuck and find in the testimonial where she said it, right? So anyway, lots of really cool stuff that you could do with this. Highly recommend that you check out the training and get access to our free Trello content template that you can use to plan your blog posts and a lot more. So if you have that in place, you're just going to be gathering all of the information. Now, what gathering information looks like, if you want to start collecting testimonials using your AttractWell site, that is an option as well. What I would do here is maybe add a page And I'm just gonna, again, I'll just use this Cassie one here again. But this is gonna be one really simply where I'm going to utilize a form. I'll use a pop-up here. If I go to leads in a pop-up, message to show. Here I'm going to ask for um, a testimonial, right? And then obviously we're not going to say join the challenge here, but in the fields and booking, what I would do is I would get their name and their email, of course. I would then prompt for questions with long text, right? So uh, I'll ask a question. And maybe these questions would be certainly there could be a long form one to actually capture what they have to say. If you're interested in capturing something more like a case study, then you can ask maybe more specific questions with multiple choice answers, right? But one of the things that you can say as well is if you'd like to include your photo, upload it here. And then here we will choose a file upload that is an image, right? So when I have that and we go to save, oh, that's not here. I'm just going to preview this. You can see that I'm capturing their name. I'm capturing what they have to say, and then I can even get their photo from them that they would prefer that I use. And once they fill this out, it's actually going to go onto their contact card in AttractWell, where you can then easily go and grab that file. You'll have that feedback there. And you can do this at multiple stages throughout your process of working with your clients. So I highly recommend, again, that you utilize something like this throughout the process of working with your clients so that you always have those opportunities to engage in feedback, hear what they have to say, learn more about how we can be better showing up for our clients, and then, of course, ultimately capturing the things that they have to say that would be the best words that your next client needs to hear in order for them to say yes and get started with working with you. All right, I'm going to pop out of our share here and look and see what kind of questions that we have. Frank says, what's the best way to keep up with new leads that have shown promise? Currently trying to remember to add a hot lead tag, but is there a better way? So the best way to keep up, it kind of depends on what your qualification and closing systems look like. But generally speaking, follow-up plans are going to be ideal. Definitely make sure that in AttractWell, if I come over here, inside your AttractWell system, under your contact settings, and then general settings, this is where we would set up things like our signature. Make sure that this box is checked. Because if this box is checked and you're opening the emails that AttractWell will send you when this box is checked, then you're actually going to get a reminder of who needs to be followed up with that day, right? And so depending on how, like what method you're choosing for that purpose, we can talk about those here real quick if we go to our contacts. One of the first and best options here would be to click right here where you can rate the contact. And this is going to send you a reminder to check in with this person every 3 days. Now, engagement with this person does include you bulk messaging. So if this person is on your list and they're a hot lead and you want to make sure you're following up with them, but you're sending bulk mail, that's going to count against this 3-day rule here, right? So if this is someone who's on your mailing list, then I might choose to take another step beyond this one. Well, not might, I definitely would, because I think that there is a better approach to maintain your pipeline than just saying this is a hot lead, right? And I think that that's true for anyone. If we have a more dialed in process, it's going to be easier to make sure that we're on top of each stage. And we have done trainings in the past on your pipeline and kind of managing that with AttractWell. If you type in pipeline over here, in the live training and replays, you'll actually see this managing your pipeline is definitely still worth a watch, even though that is from a few years ago. Everything that's there is still the same in terms of the features that you would use. But what I would do is I would go over here to contact settings. And again, it's going to depend a little bit on how you choose to engage with people. I would create a follow-up plan based on maybe the stage of the pipeline. So let's just say, for instance, this is a new lead from LinkedIn. I'll create that follow-up plan. And then once this person is a new lead in my system, or they're a new lead on my radar, rather, maybe they're not even in my AttractWell system like immediately, I add them. So they didn't necessarily opt in for something. So immediately, I want to make sure that I add notes regarding, how I like what I want to offer, etc. So I'm just going to write add notes. I want to be reminded to do that right away. Maybe within the first day, I want to send a DM and ask a question, right? And then maybe I want to make sure that I reach out at least once every, 4 or 5 days. So I'm going to say on day 3, um, reach out and add notes from interaction. I'm going to copy this because I'm about to repeat it a whole lot. So I'm going to do that on day 6. I'm going to do that on day 9. I'm going to do that on day 12, right? You see where I'm going with that? So then what's going to happen is, now that I've got this, I'm going to go find my contact. So I add them to the system. And this is something that you can do even if you don't have this person's contact information. I'm going to go over here to my to-dos, and I'm going to add a follow-up plan. And that's a new lead from LinkedIn is the one I'm adding. I'm going to go click add follow-up plan. And you can actually see from the dashboard down here that I have a to-do for today for this person. I also have people that I might want to reach out to, and that's based on their contact rating. And then this is also going to show up in the email that AttractWell sends me at the end of the day. So what would that be? 1, 2, 3. In 3 days from now, there will be, here we go, reach out and add notes. And so this is going to provide some supplemental reminders as well, just kind of based on how I operate. So I would use a follow-up plan in that case. All right, Denny, I think you got that review of the inserting a table. Frank also asked, what's the best way to send messages via the AttractWell app to one person or a group? This is going to depend on the contact information that you have for that person. So obviously with AttractWell, you can send email if you have their email address. And the way that you would do that is just from your dashboard right here. You can go to send email, text, or app notification. Choose just one message, filter for the audience, or select the people by name. And then you can write an email or a text. And so that's going to be a broadcast. Highly recommend email or text broadcast. If you have a group, obviously this is going to work the same way as it would for one-on-one. And depending on the context of how you interact with these folks, I would maybe send a broadcast, but then put a post in the group that you're in. And in that broadcast that you send out, say, come engage in the group, right? Because people can have varying notification preferences for your vaults and how you communicate. All right, we're replacing the testimonial form. So we've done some trainings in the past on this. Essentially, what I would do is with a testimonial form like this, is I would, for your clients that you're working one-on-one with, if you aren't using automation for this purpose, you may want to use a follow-up plan that reminds you to send that form to them, right? To just grab the link to that page that has the form on it and to send that to the client. Another way that you could do this, say if you have an online course and you want to collect testimonials that way, is that you could put a link to that form or the page with that form inside of a campaign and have an automation apply that campaign after a certain lesson in your online course is completed, or maybe after the entire course is completed. All right, Peggy says there are 100 texts in my campaign. I want to restart it for someone who has now received all of them. What's the best way to do that? So the first thing you want to make sure is that here, let's see. got a couple of options. So if you go to your contact, you can actually see what campaigns they're on and what day they're on in the campaign, right? So how far into the campaign they might be. So if we scroll down here, you can see campaigns, and I can click that. I can stop sending the campaign, right? So I might actually just remove the campaign if they've completed it and you want to restart them. I can remove the campaign from them, and then I can go and re-add it. That's probably what I would do if this is for a single client, right? So if this is for a single client, what I would do here is this is the hormone reset email course. I would go here to actually just go back to my contacts list. I would go to filters. I'll go find that person. I am going to perform a bulk action on them. Here I'm going to stop sending the email course. Apply that. Now I'm going to go and add it. Send. Apply. And so I can go back and check out their contact here. And you can see that that hormone reset email course, we're now on day 0. So I removed it and then I re-added it to that contact. And you could do that with a lot of people at once or just one person like I just shared. I do want to take a quick aside. Ellie, if you're here, I know you signed up for a review and you're in Australia and it's very far away and it's very late for you. So if you are here and I don't see you, I do want to make sure you know that you're welcome to raise your hand and I can bring you out at any point. All right, let's see. Denny says, regarding the app, when I get a notification on my phone from the app of a client commenting in the community and I click the AttractWell icon from the notification, it goes nowhere. Nothing shows. So if there's an issue that you're experiencing with an app, it looks like Greg is on that. Greg's already typing. But if you're seeing something like that, then I would definitely recommend shooting a message to support because that is something that is over my head. All right. Let's see. What about video testimonials? How do we best incorporate those? So Tammy, that is going to be something that will live best on a page, on a blog post, or in a inside of a vault, right? Because video is not something that plays from email. And generally speaking, like if you wanted to use video, or if you had video testimonial and you wanted that to be something that you use, email is not going to be the best place for it because usually that video, unless it's a part of a sales page, it's not going to do all of the selling that needs to be done, right? So I would only use video on a page, on a blog post or inside of a course. But what I would do, if you are collecting video testimonials, is I would upload the videos right here on your content library to videos. And just like we created that section before that had the video, I would create a page section or a saved reply that includes that. So let me come back over to the saved replies here, and I'll just adjust the Lisa one to include her video instead of her photo. So there's her video, or sorry, her photo here. I am going to delete that, and then I am going to click add video. And if it's uploaded in here, then I can come right here and select the video. We'll just pretend that this is here. This is not going to be used in email, so we don't really have to worry about this too much, but go ahead and add video. Right? And this is going to be a playable video. I'm going to click Save Changes. And then again, if I wanted to add this into a blog post, then I could come up here to blog posts. I could go in and I can, here, I'm going to delete all this here. Okay, so down here, I'm going to pop in my saved reply. There we go. And the video is in here as well. And if it doesn't populate the way that you want it to, you could always just go right in and find it, select it, and see that inserted where you want it to go. All right. Now, Again, you wouldn't normally probably put that on a blog post. It's something that you'd be more likely to put onto a page on your site. So in that case, I would maybe create a section, again, just like we did before. And again, I don't know what this bug is with Safari. Hopefully it's resolved. But I would go in to settings. I'm sorry, not settings. I would go into add section rather. And if you have three videos, then maybe use or two. You use the two column one, and then you just insert those two videos there, and then they would play on that page. So yeah, it's definitely a powerful thing to use. Video is, but they need to make sure that they're brief. And the most impactful places to put those are going to be your sales pages for sure, as well as maybe in sort of proof building sections of your website, like on your homepage, your about page, or maybe this would also be something, it's less of a testimonial, but like if you're a speaker and you want to have some little, blurbs about that, how people have benefited from things that you offer, you could put those onto those info pages as well. All right, Peggy says, is there something that will notify me when the campaign ends? Not automatically, Peggy, but you can create a follow-up plan, like I was just showing Frank how to do. So you create a follow-up plan that reminds you to reapply the campaign if you need to do it manual, like if you feel like it's a manual need. Um, but if you want notification when the campaign ends so that you can go in and reapply it, what I would do is skip that part entirely and apply an automation at the end of the campaign that restarts it. Right? So just create an automation and attach it to the last message of the campaign. And the automation that you attach there should be one that stops sending the campaign and then reapplies that campaign. All right, Denny says, speaking of the community space, what is a simple, efficient way to keep track or check, etc., on the activity of different clients or groups? So you do have like a notifications center for your vaults, for your member area. So that is one place to do it. Um, it just kind of depends, right? Like you need to make sure that your notification settings are set up the way that you want them, of course, for your vaults because then you will be getting notified when people post things. Um, and that really is like built in. The simplest way to do this is to make sure that you've got notification settings on so that you can go in and be notified and show up whenever it's time. So what I like to do running a program is I just have like a practice of well, it depends on the program. Once a week or once a day or once every 2 or 3 days, I just go in and I put this as part of my time block scheduling to just go in and take a quick look and see have questions been asked that need to be tended to, and then you go and answer them. And in terms of activity for a particular client, generally speaking, if you are sort of monitoring the activity of a client, it's usually because you're working with them in a one-on-one capacity. So a follow-up plan is another great way to make sure that you're being internally prompted to go take actions. So you can go in and take a look at whether or not they have made it past a certain point in their lessons or they've watched a certain percentage of a video. All of that's going to be visible on their contact card. It really just depends on like the utility of what that maintenance looks like for you. So why are you doing it? And then what frequency of expectation looks like for them. All right, the app doesn't open from the notification screen changes like it is, but it goes to your home screen. Okay, yeah, that'll I think Greg can help with that, or someone from support, Denny. If you just shoot us a message, we can get that worked out with you. All right, Peggy, it sounds like that answered your question as well. Awesome. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing here in the chat. Can you make it a specific date for your actions for follow-up? Suzanne, great question. Yeah, so the follow-up plans are interval based, not date based. But the good news is if there's something that you know you want to do, an action that you want to perform on a client or a contact, you can go into your to-dos over here and you can add a very specific date to do, right? So if I know that, client's birthday, if I just found out that client's birthday is whenever, and I want to send a birthday card, I can pop that in right there and add that to do for myself for when I want to have that to do. right? So yes, you can do that. And then that to do is there for you waiting for whenever it's time. Let me see. But yeah, video, let me see. There's some, I built it as a page. I drop it in like a block or an element. That's right. Um, Let me see. Curious about that Canva thing with needing to add a background. Okay. Yeah, it's just a quirk of Canva. Even if you have paid Canva, which I do, if you go in and I'm just going to pretend like let me just edit this thing here. Um, let's say that I want to just export a background. Do you see this little crown thing? Right? These are premium images. So any premium image that they offer, I mean, just this one, if I set this image as background and I want to download this image, let's see, current page done. It's going to give me an error message sometimes, in particular if I'm trying to export. And I think maybe it's that in this file, I've got a lot more other stuff happening. But where you have that issue, you can just layer, right? And really what I'm doing here is I put them where they're kind of on top of each other. I layer this by sending it to the back, and you could do this with like a circle or words or whatever. It just adds another element to the file and it bypasses what they're doing. I mean, essentially, I think what they're trying to do there is where they have premium images, they're trying to discourage you from using just that image, right? So if there's another element in it, even if it's not visible, then that just makes it a little easier. It's a Canva quirk. Um, Let me see. Yeah, sure thing, of course. All right, yeah. Any other questions before we get going? We are really glad that you guys took this time to spend time with us here today. Lalji, I see your hand is up. Let me know in the chat if you'd like to come out and talk together. Would be happy to unmute here. I'm going to go ahead and if you want to unmute, happy to take a question if you have one. Hi.
Hi. Um, can you see me?
We can't, but we can hear you just fine.
Okay, great. Um, I was just a little confused, and I'm sorry even coming on so late because I just got caught up in the fixing the program. I was just a little confused about this program, coming from the mastermind program into this. I thought, is this a leg of that for people who've already done the mastermind program and coming into this after it's like just about over?
That's a great question. I'm not sure I know what the mastermind program is. There may very well be folks that are a part of that program that use AttractWell, but I am not. I'm actually not really sure what that is.
Oh,
Um, Generally speaking, though, if the mastermind program is something that that kind of walks you through a strategy of, establishing yourself online, setting up offers, things like that. I would assume that AttractWell would be a platform fit for implementation of those steps. So we are where you have your website, where you have your courses, your payments, your forms, your emails, your client records, your client communication. It's an all-in-one for everything. If you are a service-based business, if you are a knowledge-based business, and we even some light e-commerce as well.
oh, as my program is coming to an end with the mastermind program is Tony Robbins' program.
I
And
see.
so
Okay.
they told me, you can sign up with you guys, and that's what I did. I thought it was like a continuation for those people who kind of like ended their period, and the slower people who are older that are not so fast with the technology like myself. But I'm trying to get over that challenge. Um, just to give you an example, it
Yeah.
took me 8 hours to figure something out that a friend of mine who builds computers did in 10 minutes. And that's what I thought this was.
Well, you know what?
Um,
That sounds a little bit like me and Greg, if I'm being honest. He could figure something out in a blink of an eye, and it would take me years. Um, but I help make sense of those things in the context of a business like yours. So no, I
um,
actually know. I think you're in the right place. Honored to hear that that folks from over there would be referring this way. Coming out of that program, I assume you probably have a program of your own that you're developing. Is that right?
yes.
Fabulous. Yeah. No, you're in the right place. Any kind of so what you get with us really is so I think that the mastermind people have some kind of a tech platform that they use or a collection of different things. I don't know much about it. I know that we would be highly competitive, whatever they have or recommend, both on price and uh, many other points. But yeah, like in terms of implementation of what you've learned there, I would be very surprised if there's anything that you can't do here that you've been taught. So
It looked like
as I'm sorry.
it looked like you guys were a feed-in to people that, like myself, may have not, a little slow, that you just step up and get us out launched, because they definitely recommended you to me. I
Oh,
thought you were part of that program, but it was a definite. I wouldn't know about you.
well, fantastic. I'm happy to hear that that is that we're getting recommended by them. No, we're absolutely here and ready to help. We aren't affiliated with them directly in any way, but obviously are, certainly somewhat familiar with the nature of what they're doing and similar things. So yeah, if at any point like you are ready to implement a certain step of what you've learned there and you want to kind of understand the translation of how that works on this platform, you're in the right place with calls like this or in our Facebook group or reaching out to our team. Lots of real human support that can, hear you out and give you context and show you steps. So yeah, we aren't affiliated with them. Happy to be referred, honored to be referred. But yeah, if at any point you need some support in figuring out where your feet go next, at whatever pace you choose, we're certainly beginner friendly. Then yeah, I know you're in the right place. Just let us know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to have you. And yeah, anybody else who's a part of that community, let them know they're welcome here too. We're thrilled to help. Um, oh, and thank you, Wendy. That's so sweet. Um, we really appreciate and are honored to be a part of the journey that you guys are on. It matters so much to us to be able to help take the meaning and the expertise that you all have developed to get it out into the world and really help you showcase and grow your best work. So thank you guys for being here, and we certainly welcome you all to come back. Tell your friends, bring your friends if you want. These are free sessions. And of course, getting started with AttractWell is $1 for your first month. So give us a try, and we look forward to seeing you on a future call. Take care, everybody.